June 30th, 1946. Almost time. Another 5 seconds. 2. 5:30. A spuming column of smoke 9 miles into the sky. Blinding light stronger than the sun. Bikini Atoll. Present site of Operation Crossroads and the 4th atom bomb explosion. Bikini Atoll, where 200 warships will be anchored, 140 planes, 200 goats, 200 pigs, 4,000 rats. How will this 4th bomb affect you? What do you know of this atom bomb?
The bomb will not start a chain reaction in the water, converting it all to gas and letting all the ships on all the oceans drop down to the bottom. It will not blow out the bottom of the sea and let all the water run down the hole. It will not destroy gravity. I am not an atomic playboy, as one of my critics labeled me, exploding these bombs to satisfy my personal whim.
And thus the natives expressed to the people of the United States their welcome, despite the fact that the atoll of Bikini may be utterly destroyed come July the 1st. But to the natives, in their simplicity and their pleasantness and their courtesy, they're more than willing to cooperate, although they don't understand the world of nuclear energy any more than we do, and though they have no way of understanding what the test is all about.
Scene 26, take 2.
All right, Commodore.
Go ahead, James. Tell them that the Commodores explained the atomic bomb to you.
All right now, James, will you tell them that the United States government now wants to turn this great destructive force into something good for mankind, and that this experiments here at Bikini are the first step in that direction?
American military government as I within Kajarwal Kajuran Podanga, Mugadangan, Menoyaman, Mijoricino, Ibigini.
Now they have heard of our plan for their evacuation. Will you ask King Judah to get up and tell us now what his people think and if they're willing to go?
Yago Kumar Rongo in a Karair Ganamagut in Poetuda, Pontuda in Kajin Army Ranam, who were in Ireland. Wamilamat, Yilaman Rongic. Yaman, Meno them Yigilo Benani.
Everything good, and they're willing to go, and everything is God's hand.
Well, you tell them and King Judah that everything being in God's hands, it cannot be other than good.
American officials discussed plans with the Bikini natives for the evacuation of the atoll. The islanders are a nomadic group and are well pleased that the Yanks are going to add a little variety to their lives.
And here, by the way, you'll hear them singing their Marshallese version of You Are My Sunshine.
And I have just been interrupted. That's the voice of the control strip marking the seconds remaining. The final switches have been thrown. No one can stop it. The atomic bomb is about to explode. How it will sound,
20 seconds.
We do not know how it's going to sound, but 42,000 men here are watching. All of the observer ships.
10 seconds.
All of the observer ships are in position in the open sea. We're about 10 miles away. I can
5
see
seconds.
the target.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The atom bomb explodes again in the headlines of the world.
Now, only a year ago, the hydrogen bomb was exploded in the Pacific. Last month, another series of these was undertaken.
And then finally, and this is quite significant, about 60% of the American people revealed in a study which we made through the University of Michigan a year ago that they believed that the military could stop the atomic bombs from falling upon the United States. Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you that the military will tell you that as of today, they cannot stop a successful Russian attack.
That can be corroborated rather dramatically, and we didn't plan it this way, Governor, but the floor manager has just handed me a bulletin saying that the Russians have just exploded a hydrogen bomb.
We must learn to live in a world where we have the hydrogen bomb and the enemy of freedom has the hydrogen bomb.
The problem this time is especially acute because this entire area of the Pacific is subject to radiological fallout. And this area is inhabited by some 20,000 people.
The meteorologists had predicted a wind condition which should have carried the fallout to the north of the group of small atolls lying to the east of Bikini. The wind failed to follow the predictions, but shifted south of that line, and the little islands of Rongelet, Rongerik, and Uterik were in the edge of the path of the fallout. The task force commander promptly evacuated all the people from these islands. They were taken to the island of Kwajalein, where we maintain a naval establishment, and there placed under continuous and competent medical supervision. I visited them there last week. Today, a full month after the event, the medical staff on Kwajalein have advised us that they anticipate no illness, barring, of course, diseases which may be hereafter contracted. The 236 natives appeared to me to be well and happy. The survey aircraft carefully searched the area and reported no shipping. A Japanese fishing trawler appears to have been missed by the search, but based on a statement attributed to her skipper to the effect that he saw the flash of the explosion and heard the concussion 6 minutes later, it must have been well within the danger area.
At the time of the explosion, the tuna ship had been sailing far outside the designated safe area of a 75-mile radius. 3 hours after the H-bomb had been detonated, a downpour of radioactive ash descended on the Fortunate Dragon and its crew of 23. None of them knew the nature of the deadly snow. It was 3 days more before the ship and its contaminated crew and fishing catch sailed into port. By that time, the men suffered from the beginning symptoms of deadly radiation poisoning. By the time their illnesses had been properly diagnosed, the hot fish brought back in their holds had been sold into markets all over Japan. A panic ensued. Midnight burials of recent catches in the vicinity of the H-bomb explosion took place all over Japan. The bottom had dropped out of the fish market, and the Japanese people chose to do without the staple food for a long time after the tragic affair.
Another byproduct of the stupendous mid-Pacific blast unfolds in San Francisco, where tuna fish, supposedly made radioactive during the tests, are scrutinized by federal agents armed with Geiger counters for signs of contamination.
Hot tea, anyone? That's not an invitation. It's a problem brewed for the Coast Guard and Customs by the arrival in Brooklyn of a cargo of Japanese tea slightly radioactive. Final conclusion, the tea's radioactivity is within safety limits, not too hot to handle.
Gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Camp Desert Rock. This will be your last briefing before you go out to the forward area and take part in an atomic detonation.
The tactical situation behind Troop Test Smoky is this. The mythical enemy, which has landed on the coast of California, has made a deep penetration close to supply, special weapons storage, and missile launching installations in the vicinity of Las Vegas and Hoover Dam. The tactical commander decided at this point to use an atomic weapon in his assault on the enemy. The mission of these men is to move as quickly as possible into the blasted area and exploit the breach in the enemy lines.
You are here to participate in an atomic maneuver. This is not a haphazard maneuver. Careful planning for it started months back. Watched from a safe distance, this explosion is one of the most beautiful sights ever seen by man. You're probably saying, so it's beautiful. What makes it so dangerous? Basically, there are only three things to think about. Blast, heat, and radiation. Radiation. This is the one new effect obtained by the use of an atomic weapon. Truthfully, it's the least important of the three effects as far as the soldier on the ground is concerned. You can't see radiation, feel it, smell it, or taste it. Film badges and dosimeters issued to you enable the radiological safety monitor in your unit to read the amount of your exposure. The radiation level may be high, but if you follow orders, you'll be moved out in time to avoid sickness. Finally, if you receive enough gamma radiation to cause sterility or severe sickness, you'll be killed by blast, flying debris, or heat anyway. Well, that's the story. Don't worry about yourselves. As far as the test is concerned, you'll be okay.
blast shock passes in a matter of seconds, and the heat and blast effects you can see and feel. You cannot sense the presence of nuclear radiation effects. Alpha and beta particles, because of their low penetrating power, are stopped by most surfaces, even a soldier's skin. They are a hazard only when materials emitting these particles get into the body through breaks in the skin or through the nose or mouth.
Did you keep your mouth shut or did you get a mouthful of dirt?
I got a mouthful and a face full of dirt.
How about all that smoke and dust and radiation? What you couldn't see. You couldn't see for quite a spell. Just a haze.
Very young, did you wear any type of protective clothing, or just what did you wear?
No, just regular GI white clothes.
We see pinned on your lapels here this white badge. Can you tell me what that is?
That's a film badge to determine, to detect the amount of radiation you've received in the area.
And they can tell from that if you received a lethal dose. Is that right?
That's right, they can.
If you were driving from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City on U.S. Highway 91, you'd pass through St. George, Utah, just a short way from the Nevada test site 140 miles to the west.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you important news. Word has just been received from the Atomic Energy Commission that due to a change in wind direction, the residue from this morning's atomic detonation is drifting in the direction of St. George. It is suggested that everyone remain indoors for 1 hour or until further notice. There is no danger. This is simply routine Atomic Energy Commission safety procedure. Parents need not be alarmed about children at school. No recesses outdoors will be permitted.
And as the people at St. George took cover, it was natural that some of them had questions about atomic tests.
What is the atomic bomb?
Why do we have to test bombs?
How little an amount of radiation will cause how many mutations?
Never before have so many known so little about a subject so big and so important. The capabilities of most weapons are pretty well understood, but when it comes to atomic explosions, the guessing game starts.